What's up, everyone?
Dr. Maxfield.
Dr. Shah. First of all, shout out to my pimple over here that we extracted at the office yesterday. If you want to see how that went, you can go check out my TikTok because there's a whole video of that pimple extraction. Anyway, I had to call that out in the video in the beginning because I knew it was going to pop up in the comments. I just 8-miled them. Today, we're going to be talking about how to shrink your pores.
Whoa, can it be even done? Can it be even done?
And it can't. You can't shrink your pores. Your pores are genetic, but what we can do is many different techniques to help you minimize the appearance of your pores. And I did this thing on TikTok Live the other day where I kind of went down with an explanation of how you can do this, and I actually drew out like a diagram. Got a lot of positive feedback from people on how that was really helpful. So I'm going to draw it out for you here today. We're going to put it up on YouTube. That way everyone can look at it and see what we mean by why these things would work potentially to minimize your pores. All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
All right, so I got a diagram here. This over here is going to be the skin surface and a pore, okay? All right, so this over here is your pore. I'm going to draw a line to it. This is the pore. This is the opening that you all see on the surface of your skin. So you notice here it's like a cup shape almost, like it's more wide near the top, right? Like a bowl almost. Okay, so it's skinnier near the bottom, more wide near the top. This is going to become important near the end. All right, so these blue lines over here, this is something called the stratum corneum, which is the very top layer of our skin. And it can be more than one cell layer thick, but these are just dead skin cells, essentially. Dead corneocytes, dead keratinocytes. And they sit at the top layer of our skin, and they can vary in thickness. All right, so then you have the rest of the epidermis here. So this over here, this whole area is called the epidermis. And then you have underneath that something called the dermis. Okay, so inside the dermis is made up of a lot of different things, but some of the main things that it's made up of are collagen and glycosaminoglycans. Also, the most abundant glycosaminoglycan is hyaluronic acid. So what you always hear about, hyaluronic acid, that's one of the most abundant substances in this dermis. But we're going to focus here on collagen and elastic fibers or elastin, which are going to play a big role in the appearance of your pores. So I'm going to draw that with, I'm going to draw this over here in yellow. So this over here is your collagen and elastic fibers, but what they do is create support structure for your skin, and additionally, they surround that sort of bottom part of the pore. If you can imagine that your collagen is damaged by something like the sun, so UVA radiation has a long wavelength, it gets through our glass windows, it gets through our car windows, and can actually get destroyed by that, and the elastic fibers can also get destroyed by that. And once you lose this collagen, you can imagine that if you lose these support structures here, that your pore will start to dilate outwards, right? Because you're losing those support structures. That kind of makes sense, right? If you wear sunscreen, then you'll prevent this dilation of the pore that's occurring. That makes sense, right? You lose those support structures, your pore dilates. So the first line of treatment to prevent your pores from looking larger are to actually just wear sunscreen. So broad spectrum sunscreen that needs to cover both UVA and UVB. And there you go. One step to minimizing your pores. The reverse. What if we were to build collagen?
Okay.
So if we're to build collagen, you could actually squeeze the pore, right? Kind of big. Dr. Maxwell's always looking for like an opportunity to flex on camera. So I gave him this opportunity right now. But so basically, if you were to instead build your collagen up over here, right? So you're squeezing it around it, you're building your collagen, you could actually make your pore go the other direction. So then that would squeeze the pore, minimize the pore. So what are some things that we can do to build collagen?
Foundation, vitamin A derivatives, retin A, retinols.
Retinol, retinoid, adapalene, tretinoin, tazarotene, any of these ingredients are going to help build collagen over time. So your first line of defense, I think probably the most powerful and most studied form to build your collagen over time is going to be your vitamin A derivatives. Another option, vitamin C, potentially niacinamide as well. So some of these other ingredients, things like microneedling, right, where we poke little holes into the skin at a physician's office, that sort of can build collagen. Through wound healing, can build collagen over time as well.
And then a lot more complicated advanced techniques we do too.
Like lasers, like CO2 laser, things like that. So many options to build collagen, but it makes sense. You build collagen, you sort of squeeze the appearance of your pores. Okay, now I gotta draw something else for you here. So this over here that I'm drawing is something called what?
There it is, the oil gland, sebaceous gland.
Sebaceous glands, sebaceous lobules. These things are the things that are producing your oil or sebum, and they actually kind of release that sebum into the pore, and that's why people can have variations in the oiliness of their skin overall. But if you can imagine, if you fill this thing up with a ton of oil, it's going to end up dilating your pore over time just because it's just so full of stuff. So to get rid of this, all you have to do is try to minimize your oil production or remove the oil that's building up in your pores. A couple things that can decrease oil production. So I guess we have to start with the goat,
Yeah.
greatest of all time, to decrease oil production, or what's been studied to decrease oil production.
Yeah, isotretinoin, Accutane, it just is the best. It's the bomb you drop on the oil glands.
Exactly. So that obviously a lot of people don't have access to that, or it's not appropriate for a lot of people,
Yeah.
but that would decrease your oil production and thus minimize the appearance of your pores. However, if you want to look at some over-the-counter options, then niacinamide has been studied, particularly in the Japanese population, showed a benefit with decreasing oil production. But in some people, it seems to normalize sebum or oil production. Decreased oil production can minimize the appearance of your pores. Additionally, things like green tea extracts, L-carnitine have been also shown to decrease oil production. Now, the question of whether or not topical retinoids decrease oil production seems to be sort of not proven, believe it or not. So we actually don't know whether topical retinoids can decrease oil production, and there actually haven't been any studies at this time that show that they do. What if we wanted to remove oil from the glands instead? So if you remove the oil, then that could also minimize the appearance of the pores.
Obviously, you want to be using your alcohol-based astringents, witch hazel, hydrogen peroxide, cleaning solution. I've used all of these things. Works great. Okay, but really. So
what if someone just like takes that clip from you and like posts it everywhere? Just that clip, and it's like Dr. Maxfield said.
I think there's a large group of people who would be like, I knew it. He knew it. I'm going to follow him now.
You probably would get like this sort of like alternate group of people that
it's true. I have like an influx from a whole new crowd.
The anti-medicine crowd is going to start following you.
Yeah, that'll be my thing. So we're removing it, right? So we're going to do a gentle cleanser, salicylic acid, being that lipophilic one that concentrates in the oil glands to remove some of this oil. Well, you disagree?
No, I totally agree. So beta hydroxy acid, salicylic acid, very good at getting into those pores and getting rid of some of that oil. So you can either have that as a cleanser, or you can have that as a leave-on product as well. So now we've decreased oil production or removed oil. The last thing that you can do, okay, and this one, it's kind of have to get like very conceptual with this here. We're thinking about that stratum, back to the stratum corneum layer, right? If it gets to be higher, you're going to notice that that sort of cup-shaped opening is going to be more obvious. So if you can imagine that if we were to somehow sort of bring the skin level down a little bit, right? So if we were to somehow bring the skin level down such that we actually cut this layer in half, then you would notice that you're bringing the pore closer to the base where it's skinnier near the base, and therefore your pore is going to look less obvious. So what are a couple things that we can do to sort of thin the stratum corneum layer or make it more compact?
And what, for the third or fourth time, we're back to retinoids.
So exactly. Retinoids over time have been shown to sort of make that layer more compact. Additionally, you could do just your chemical exfoliants, your salicylic acid, lactic acid. I love that. So lactic acid is the one that I use. And then your glycolic acid, other acids that help to flatten out that layer as well and exfoliate the skin. And then other forms of mechanical exfoliation like dermabrasion, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, things like that, where you are helping to sort of normalize that top layer of the skin. So those are the three things you could do. So let's just like put together a routine that over time. So the key here, right, we have to caveat this here is that first of all, this routine that we're going to give you is going to treat a lot of different things. So not to just minimize your pores, but ultimately these ingredients that we mentioned have so many other benefits, right? So ultimately you can stick to this routine and it will slowly minimize your pores over months, that you'll notice an improvement in that to give you that sort of like glass skin, dewy skin appearance. Okay, so I would say during the day, I would do a gentle cleanser. Any cleanser, we'll put links down below of a good routine, but something like the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser would be a good option. Pretty much any cleanser would work in this stage, just gentle. Then I would follow it with vitamin C to try to build up that collagen, squeeze the pore. And then I would do a sunscreen that has niacinamide in it, like the Elta MD UV Clear, which has niacinamide in it. So that's also going to decrease oil production, but also protect your collagen and elastic fibers, protect those support structures. Okay, so then at night, I would go gentle cleanser again.
Yeah.
Or you could do a cleanser with salicylic acid in it. But gentle cleanser, I like to go the gentle cleanser route. Then I hit it with the retinoid 5 to 6 nights a week. And then you can even layer that with niacinamide as well, and then follow it with a gentle moisturizer. And then the other 1 or 2 days a week, I would use a chemical exfoliant, a leave-on chemical exfoliant, like the BHA liquid exfoliants, the lactic acid exfoliants, a glycolic acid exfoliant. Now you do this over several months, and you're gonna see improvement in your skin. So should I like quit my day job and like get into drawing?
Pretty much already have.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Anything that you guys do to watch our videos really helps to support the channel, and so we really appreciate all your support, and thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, guys.